Bitti mi?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Her şey eskisi gibi oldu. Hadi bakalım. Oyun tekrardan başlıyor. Soldaki kapı diyor. Soldaki kapı mı, sağdaki kapı mı? Tabii ki de sağdaki kapıya gittim. Bu sefer her şeyin tam tersini yapacağız. Tamam, arkadaş geldi. Tamam, onun olduğunu da kanıtladım. Allah.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked
Çıkabiliyoruz.
to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Geri dönmek yok. Dümdüz ilerleyelim bakalım. Oha, toplantı. Oha, şimdi toplantı.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Abo, açıldı.
I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say any. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss.
Hayır, aşağıdaki merdivenlere gitti. Bu sefer aşağı ineceğiz. Zıplayamaması çok kötü ya. Niye zıplayamıyoruz? Daha aşağısı yok.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
Ha, John Stanley kafayı yediği için. Aynen, kafayı yemiş gibi düşündü.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Aynen, bence de mantıklı. Hadi bakalım. Oha, nasıl ki? What the fuck? Sonsuz döngü bu arkadaş. Bak, sonsuz döngü dediğimiz şey bu. Sonsuza kadar dönüyoruz. Nasıl kurtulacağız? Bir o eksik yemin ederim.
I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Oh, rüyaymış. Rahatladım.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
Evet, Yakup follower oldu. Teşekkürler.
Began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining
Okay.
And then perhaps
Rüya değil mi lan bu?
One, he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice.
Abi, ne oluyor bu oyunda? Nasıl çıkacağız buradan? Hadi, ben çıkmak istiyorum. Beni kurtarın buradan.
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been.
Uyanık mı? Haydi, üzdü.
Speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all,
Abi böyle bir şeyin gerçekten başına geldiğini düşünsene. Yemin ediyorum insan korkar.
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt
Uyanacağız, şeye de gelecek.
the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside.
Oh, çok rahatlamış gibi oldum abi şu anda. Bunların hepsi bir rüya.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me
Oh,
continue
tek
pushing
istediğim
the
rüyadan
buttons.
uyanmaktı.
Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Oh, her şey normal.
Everything will be fine.
Tamam, artık uyanabilir miyiz?
I am okay.
Not bu. Ha siktir, rüya değil.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up.
Yardım
My name
edin
is
lan.
I have a boss, I have an office.
Patronum
I'm real.
var benim.
Please, just someone tell me I am real.
Uf,
I must be
pembeleşti.
real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Uf, kıpkırmızı oldu ortalık.
Black.
Aa, gittik.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oha, Mariella.
Mariella
bakayım
woke
ya.
up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to an ambulance, for just a few
Emirli
brief
oyun.
moments, she
Follower oldu,
considered the
teşekkür ediyorum.
strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Öldük mü yani şimdi? Bu oyun normal insanlara göre değil. 41 geçiyor. Devam et. Aha, bu sefer karanlık.
All of his
Oha.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Abi bu sefer normal değil bu. Aa bak, bu oda açılıyor. 427 açılmıyor.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Dur. Konsol bug. What the fuck? Hiçbir halt anlamadım.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Her şey başa mı döndü? Yoksa GG mi oldu?
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Bu sefer başka...
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to
O
go
hata.
to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming
Tamam,
to a
sinirimi
staircase,
kıracağım.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ha şöyle. Money this morning. Komikmiş. Aa. Bu ne? Böyle bir asansöre girdik. Yukarıya. Daha da yukarısı da mı var? Bu müzikten copyright dersek ne gülerim. Emir'in oyun. Bu arada yayında sorun yok. Gerçekten trollemeyin. Bir daha kontrol etmek istiyorum. Bak hatta sen de gör. Ekran yakalama yaptım. Bak yeşil. Tamam mı? Sizin internetinizde sorun var. Yani kaç yıldır yayın yapıyorum. 1 yıldır yayın yapıyorum. Hiçbir zaman sorun çıkmadı. Bugün özelde bir sorun yok. Yeşil görüyoruz şu anda. Abi bir yere gidelim artık ya. Açıl susam. Oha. Gene aynı yer mi? Bir bok anlamadım. Aşağıya. Bu kez aşağıya. Yani bu asansör müzik için miymiş? Hadi bakalım. Açıl susam. Çöp. Açılmıyor. Şu bilgisayarına bakarsam. Gene buraya mı geldik?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
New Age. Al işte. Pardon, az önce siyah ekran şeyiydi en azından. Şimdi bende yok. Oyunu kırdım. Abi bekleyeceğim. Rahatlatıcı müzik.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Götür beni aşağıya. Buraları biliyoruz ya. Az önce görmüştük. Bu kez bu taraf. Oha. Sonsuza kadar gidiyor mu bu? Vahşi bir ölüm diyorsun. Yolu. Ben böyle gideceğim arkadaşım. Merak ediyorum. Şimdi de vicdan yapıyor. Aha yeni bir kapı. Öldük mü? Ne oldu? kazan gibi bir yere atladık, yemin ediyorum. Kafa attık. Oh. GG'miz.
As the
Nereye
machine
gidiyoruz?
whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story.
Eyvah.
Trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he
Stanley
resigned
GG mi oluyorsun?
accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oha.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oha. Oha, ölmedik. What? The Stanley
And yet
Parable.
it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game back in his office. as
Yeni
alive
bir
as
anlatıcı
ever.
geldi, yemin ediyorum.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do
Bembeyaz
you see
olmuş.
now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Ne oluyor lan? Biz nasıl hayatta kaldık şu anda? Hiçbir fikrim yok. Saat 11. Of. ...427. Abi bir bokluk oluyor. Daha fazla son, daha fazla Stanley. Burada kaldık mı yani? Admin kardeş. Ben bir halt anlayamadım şimdi. Kredi. Bakalım şuna da, oyunu yapan kişiler. Yani 2 dakikada bitti mi şimdi bu oyun? Hiçbir fikrim yok. I don't have ID. Telefon. 5 4 öyle gidiyor. Oyun sesi var, nereye yok? Ya oyun sesi yok, ne alaka? Ama ben şu anda kaldım.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Bakalım şimdi ne olacak.
Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you
Nerede o tuş?
you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Gitti. Bir saniye. Şu adama bir cevap vereyim. Ve de oyun bu sefer hakikaten de kırılıyor. Bozuldum oyun. Gitti bu sefer cidden. Ha. Oyundayız. Bir şeyler geliyor mu? Yoksa böyle kapkaranlık mı oldu? PlayStation 3. Hiç düşünmüyorum şu anda. Zaten oynayacak ne var ki? Ne oynasam? Benim monitörüm kirli. Bence bitti. Bence bir bokluklar oldu şu anda. Yeniden başla diyelim bari. Çünkü bir bok anlayamadım. Hadi bakalım. Stanley çok pis biçimde cırk diye eritiyorum ediyorum.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. No matter how hard
What? Bir saniye. Ayarlar. Klavye fare. Zıplama.
all of his his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Şimdi.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew perfectly.
Doğru yol değildi.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, Stanley bu sefer bu kapıdan
Stanley
gitti.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact
Ve
is
Stanley ölür.
to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Evet. O niye notlar aşağıda?
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the
Biz gene
correct
sağ
way to the
kapıdan
meeting
girelim.
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Niye böyle
employee
yerde
lounge first,
kağıtlar var?
just to admire it.
Hiçbir fikrim yok.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Hayır, soldaki kapıya yönelmedi. Bu Stanley.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley,
Götür.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Abi arkada o kadar fazla gürültü var ki.
Please,
Çok da rahatsız
stop trying
oluyorum.
to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. Oh, no.
Za.
Did you just unplug the phone?
Fiş
But that
çektim.
wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't...
Neyi fark edemedin?
How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oha. Ben Stanley değil miyim?
I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have neglected it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Tutorial mu?
Choice.
What?
It's
Choice.
the best part of being a real person. but if used incorrectly can also be the most
İz-
dangerous. For example,
İzlemeye
in this
geçemiyormuşuz.
scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that
What the
person
fuck?
is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Pratikte.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making
Oha.
process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful, and
Oha.
whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just
Abi
remember that in
oyun.
the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and
Oyun
the
kafayı
feeling
yedi.
should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material
Okay.
covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have
What?
noticed this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision making,
Oha, seçim yapmak için
revisit the
eğitildik.
choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Abi neredeyiz? Geri döndük buraya resmen. Burası açılmıyor. Nereye gidiyoruz? Buraya mı gideceğiz?
Now that we
Aha.
know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you
Atlamıyorum
home
diye
as
şey
soon as
yapmış.
possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okey, şimdi ne yapıyoruz? Abi kapıların açılmasını hiç sevmiyorum ama geriye mi götürüyorsun sen şimdi beni? Kapı kapandı. Hadi bakalım.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sağdaki kapıdan girecek. Trollük değil mi?
Why did you do that? Quickly,
Oha.
back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Evet, oyun. Ben bu kapıdan girmek istiyorum. Stanley o soldaki kapıya gitmeyecek. Stanley kafayı yedi. Uf. Müthiş. Buradan gidemiyoruz demek ki o zaman. Bu kapı, hadi bakalım.
It's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that you, my story,
Oha!
destroyed my
Ofis yıkıldı.
Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you
Ne
think was
içtim
so
lan ben?
special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to
What the fuck?
to know that my story is now incorrect, how can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever.
Abi ne oluyor?
Is it better to show
Bir
the
bok
game
anlamadım.
entirely, to willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? answer. What do I do?
İç ses kafayı yedin.
What do I do?
Ne yapmalı, ne yapmalı?
I have to shut the game down.
Ne zorundasın?
I have to.
Evet. Onu sikip. Onu sikip. Siktir. GG. Ne oluyoruz amık?
Oh, I'm here. I'm
Oh.
still here in this pile of rubbish, with you, who
Thank
thought
you.
were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed.
Tüm oyunum
Everything in the world
mahvoldu.
that was mine, and you run it into the ground.
Ya yok beni suçlama ya.
That would be funny. You just had to see. Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like
Anlattın
Stanley?
anlattın. Üzüldüm
Actually
yemin
knows
ediyorum.
how to do what I tell him to.
Oyunum GG oldu
Understands
yazdı.
if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside
Sen
of you.
anan çocuk anan.
Child. Oh, my story.
Abi
If
ne
you'd just
kapıymış
gone
ama
through the
ya.
door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard.
Onu
on
ilk
it.
kararımda
I tried
yaptım
so hard.
zaten. Aha. Bu sefer GG oldu.
Behave
Kapattı oyunu.
exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, sağ kapı. Oyunu trollüyorum.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Bu sefer oyun
Behave
gitti.
exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing
Açıl gene bu kapıdan
always
gireceğim.
putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my
Oyunun
lead
sonuna
and
kadar bu
you'll be
kapıdan
fine.
gireceğim.
Alright. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Koşturuyorum. Aha. Oyunu kırdım.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as
Tamam bu
Stanley
sefer
would.
sol
That
kapı.
means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
Tamam
Just follow
soldan
my lead and
gireceğim.
you'll be fine. All right.
Lanet olsun.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tamam bu sefer seni kırmıyorum, soldan giriyorum. Eğer toplantı odasında bir şey olmuşsa oyunu yemin ediyorum silerim.
Yes,
Aha.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go
Ah,
up to his boss's
oyun
office,
düzeldi.
hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bu bildiğimiz kısım. Bu kadar mıydı yani? Aha yo değişmiş. Bir şeyler değişmiş burada. Anlayabiliyorum. Kesinlikle değişmiş. Yeşil değildi. Kıpkırmızıydı burası.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
Ben
no
daha fazladım bu
indication of
sefer.
any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a short breath,
115.
then spoke the code.
Evet. Ne yapmam gerek?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the
115.
there on the wall. I'm
115.
sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Senin dediğin güvenlik duvar ama benim aklımda başka bir şey var. Belki o yüzden anlamış olabilirim. Sen şöyle gel. Şu 30 yapan da dakika başı gelmesin. Şimdi daha mutluyum. Oyun ne tuhaf bir oyunmuş lan. Sevdim ama.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Aha.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Bu sefer de anlatıcının içine girdik.
I need you to make a choice.
The end bitti.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything alright? Stanley, this is important.
Ne yani bu kadar çabuk mu bitti?
Decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do.
Kredi gidiyor.
That step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything.
Harbiden bitti.
You never know. I need
Şimdi
the story needs it. So, you know,
teknik olarak oyun bitti ama başka sonların olabileceğini düşünüyorum. Birazcık araştıracağım. Seri bitmedi. Devam edebilir. Belki de etmez. Hiç fikrim yok. Sen terör bu kadar. Of, bu sefer bize şey verdi, izin verdi. Bitti mi lan? Üzüldüm. Kredi gitti. Oyun bence tekrar... Aha. Tam da düşündüğüm gibi. Açık var. Oyun bitti diyor ama ne diyeyim? Oyun bitti dese de benim için bitmedi. Ben birazcık daha araştıracağım. Başka sonların olduğunu kesinlikle eminim. Yani adam bir sürü son yapmış diye duymuştum. Neyse, şey bitmedi. Seri bitmedi. Daha fazla son arayacağız. Aynen, mesela bir iki tane daha son görmüştüm YouTube'da. Ama bölümün sonuna geldik. Yayının sonuna geldik mi? Hiçbir fikrim yok. Belki gelmişizdir, belki gelmemişizdir. Ama izlediğiniz için teşekkür ederim. Diğer Stanley görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın.